The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, Squeezably Soft host. As always, we like to come to you at this time. If I'm got it right, there we go.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So we got the S&P up 14, 15 points, Dow's up 70, NASDAQ's up 90. The Russell was down last time I looked at it. Yeah, down 5. Crude oil up, 15 cents. And, of course, when we look over the futures, what do we have for gold? Gold's down $5.60. Silver up 1.5 cents. Copper, I'm going to call it flat. $2.81. And, of course, natural gas down 4.5 cents. So we've got a market that at least has got a bounce out of here since yesterday's low. We came back down, got a bunch of buy signals just probably the last 10 or 15 minutes. Well, I'm going to call it about 12:45, 1 o'clock, just in time for Steve Rhodes' show. So we got a little bit of a bounce. Each of these bounces being horribly shorted. So we'll see how this ends at the day. Generally, the problem is that it's the absolute shortest at the bottom. So we'll see how that comes out. Very tough to figure out how you get a lot of people to be a pilgrim, because, of course, pilgrims get the arrows by buying into this for the weekend. But, for the most part, I'm going to say 2 out of the 3 stocks that I bought to go long, maybe even a little better, are holding extremely well. Some of them are up 4 or 5. We're up 6, 7% this morning. So I am not long the indexes in the newsletters, but I am thinking that there are a lot of opportunities. My guess is that today's test will make it very hard for the market to go down through the rest of next week, at least. And when you look at options, a fairly good read on options says that we should go to 28.20 to 28.50. And that could just be a nice B2C if you're bearish, and a false breakdown if you're bullish. So we will wait and see what the markets tell us. But so far, I'm long and strong. May have to get rid of 1 or 2 of these positions. But for the most part, everything looking fairly good. I'll probably be adding on Monday after we see what the results of today's test of some of these lows are. My guess is we have a great deal more stocks to take a look at, but certain sectors out there look like they've already bottomed pretty strong for us today in both the Tech Insider and the Daily Newsletter. We'll see what the last 30 minutes of the day brings in. Of course, I'll be with Tom O'Brien for the last half hour of his show. We'll be talking about technology. A lot of interesting things going on this week, so we'll catch you up there and see if there's anything else happening. But that's it. Let's get to a little bit of history. We'll get to a lot of charts and see how these things are looking.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating, and on this day in 1942, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, sights a Bahamian island, believing he's reached East Asia. This expedition went ashore the same day and claimed the land for Isabella and Ferdinand of Spain, who sponsored his attempts to find a Western Ocean route to China, India, and the fabled gold and spice islands of Asia. Of course, kind of weird that he actually thought he'd made it there. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, for 600 years, everybody really kind of knew how big the Earth was. I mean, a lot of mathematicians had already figured it out, and they were pretty close. I think they were. I forget exactly what it is, but I think it's 25,000 miles in circumference, and they were off. I don't know, a couple hundred miles. Not that bad in the scheme of things. So not exactly sure why he made it all the way around there or thought he did, but apparently he needed a mathematician. And he kind of figured that out when he found the place that it wasn't exactly Asia. But of course, always kids remember that little poem in 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. That's about it. Not that much out here. Up 8 on the S&P cash. We'll keep rolling on. This market is, if one thing, fast on the draw. And you got to have a fast mouse. Let's go ahead and start looking at something, probably the SMHs, because they look like they came back down. I want to see what they did in retesting yesterday's moves. Got kind of a little bit of a push down into yesterday that had almost 21 million shares. So far, just 5.7 million shares. Now, the day's not over yet, but with 2 hours to go, I'm figuring that you're going to be at best 50% of the volume as this pushes back down again. Let's take a quick look at stocks. Same kind of thing. This support area has been a long support area for 165. It got down to 162.18 on February 9th, very briefly, and then popped back up. Again, pretty stiff support in this tech sector right along here. And even though we opened up a little higher and closing a little lower out here, certainly not coming back into it with huge amounts of energy. In fact, the energy off this September 21st high all the way down when this thing ran wasn't that bad. I mean, it was a little more, but it didn't the kind of blowouts that you normally see in many of the stocks or sectors that we've seen. What else do we have? Okay. I guess I could need to go back to some of my scans. Let's see how some of these were doing. We talked about a handful of these stocks the other day, so I wanted to see what they did. We were talking about some of these that had blown through lows without the kind of volume that you would think. One of the ones I was interested in, AAOI, because this is feast and famine, went through and blew through $22.54, the April 4th low. Little doji out here up on a little less than 600,000 shares compared to the 1.7 million shares in the big thrust down yesterday, but actually close to the higher. So some of these are people starting to try to find this. We'll be back in a minute.
Excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors. Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
S&P up 10, Dow up 37, NASDAQ up 75, Russell down 7. So mostly on the positive side. Russell 2000 down a little bit, and maybe that's because of the higher interest rates. And of course, they ran up on a lot of trade tariff issues, thinking that they would be the least affected if problems with the tariffs continued, but most affected by lower interest rates, or higher interest rates, excuse me, because of course, if you're a big company, doesn't matter how bad the conditions are, generally you'll find someone to lend to you. It's when that cash gets tough to get and you're a company doing $1 billion, it's a lot tougher than if you're doing $100 billion or $1 trillion or whatever the big guys are doing these days. Now we're up 13.5 points. A pretty good buying down there at about 27.35 on the S&P. Continue to see a lot of individual stocks giving buy signals today as we pull back. So we'll keep an eye on that, watch how the close comes in. But options are very bullish for next week. We'll see how they close and report that on Monday. But anywhere from 2,800 to 2,825, something like that, maybe as high as 2,850. Is the range. We'll see how that comes back in. But it's not uncommon to see massive squeezes, especially when everybody in the world goes short and is looking at their shoes. It's time for you to look up. And enough with those negative waves. We've lived through that this week. It's time to have a fairly decent and really nice weekend. And just none of those negative waves.
Don't you knock it off with them negative waves. Why don't you dig how beautiful it is out here? Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change?
Always with the negative waves, Moriarty. Always with the negative waves.
Yes, no negative waves here. Wanted to look at a couple of them. We brought this one up yesterday, ABEO. Don't know much about it. It is biotech. 1050 was the last major low on February 15th. Got into that the last couple of days. That had 2.6 million shares. 1 million shares on Wednesday. Yesterday, 800,000 shares. So way lighter. Pop back into this range today. on fairly light volume. So you may be, if you're bearish, you may be looking for these things to bounce for your next opportunity to take a swing at them. But right now, they look like they've hit, at least on just the volume levels at lows. There are a bunch of these that have hit the lows and are bouncing today. Array Biopharma, ARRY, the symbol on that one. 1280 on May 9th, that had 3.4 million shares. Got into that with 2.6 million shares. Nice little bounce on this one today. What was that? That's up to what? 1383 off that 1256 low of yesterday. ASML Holdings. This one's bouncing all over its lows. And the question is whether or not it can hold these things. Very light volume today, 625,000 shares compared to 1.665 million shares. So in the short term, certainly looks that I am looking for some bounces out here. We talked about Avalar a lot. I'm probably going to be looking at this, buying this next year after it gets out of the IPO. So actually made a fairly decent low with lighter volume, tested the August 15th low at $32.10. Had 750,000 shares, got into it about 500,000 shares, and up today on 300,000. So probably going to base out for a while and probably continue selling off into IPO lockup. But at this moment, we're just looking at a lot of stocks to see what they are telling us about the state of the market. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. And what else do we have out here? Chegg, CHGG. I think we talked about this one the last couple of days too, coming down in lighter volume. July 30th, $25.38, a little shy of 4 million shares. Yesterday, just 2 million shares. A little bounce out here. Any close above 25.38 would be a signal this thing is bottom for the moment. It came down a little bit too much energy for me to go long, but if you were short, certainly getting ready for the bounce. Comscope Holdings, this thing came down on monstrous volume of 14 million shares back on May 1st, came in at 26.29, tried to rally back up, fill at least part of that gap, did so a little bit. Now we're breaking down through this in that 14 million shares, 2 million shares, 1.7 million shares yesterday, today under a million shares with what, a little hour and 40 minutes left to go. Again, you want to watch and see whether these things close back in to these trading ranges. And if they do, then after a long consolidation, you have the possibility of picking stuff up on the cheap, but nothing today. Cognizant Technologies, CTSH, going into the February 6th low, $71.55, 6.5 million shares. We got 4.6 million shares yesterday and a pop back into the trading range. Energy actually on this one did decrease off the leg prior, the July 12th leg that started at 83.35 and got down to 74.13 on August 15th. And if you compare that to the August 11th high at $78.59, down to yesterday's low, energy actually was less. Overall, you're back to this December 5th of 2017 low in CTSH. Volume was just a little bit more, but really what you want to look at is this low of November 1st, 2017 that had 10 million shares. So basically you're half light on that one at 69.98. And again, $70. That's a fairly decent bottoming signal. But again, when these things come off highs like this, you want some level of consolidation that you might get. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. Okay. And we're up, 11 points, 36 points, 80 points on the big ones. So not that much more. 27.38 on the S&P cash. Okay, what else do we have? Let's take a look at a few more. Wanted to look at Deckers. Outdoor. This one went in and filled its gap from May 24th of this year, 900,000 shares. Got into it with 500,000 shares on Thursday or on Wednesday. Yesterday, we got into it with 688,000, up today on 300,000 shares. Again, some consolidation out here, and some of these may be lining up to run this fall. So this is a time where you can look at stocks and get a lot of information, a lot more than any time else. If in all this carnage, they can't go down, they're either going to go sideways or up. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we got to talk about fast markets because this is one. Up 16.5 on the S&P, Dow's up 56, NASDAQ up 100. So what else do we have? We're going to go through some of these other charts. Again, I'm not a big fan of being in the indexes just yet. I suspect that if you wanted to do anything, buying a call on one of the ETFs, like the SPYs, might be the best thing. But again, especially since options expiration's coming up, I'm thinking that there may be some really good plays on these individual stocks. The longer that they hold these things down, the more they're going to pop. But I'm going to look at some options plays probably on Wednesday, see how this market comes out. But I'm pretty well loaded long right now with individual stocks, and I think they're going to far out perform the actual indexes, because there's going to be a lot of dogs in these indexes, right? There's going to be what everybody goes to and wants to get into, and they're going to be selling, continue selling maybe some of the rest of what's out there. So just keep that in mind. I'm more of a fan of individual stocks at the moment, mostly because we bought a few, especially in well, actually a couple in both newsletters, and man, these things are rocks. They all through all that, they pounded them, and I mean, they held up very well. So I'm going to be happy. That's a pretty good sign, at least for now. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, but I think that there was some fairly decent gems in there. There's also some sectors that I loved, and they're just not doing anything, and weak and worthless. I wish I could tell them to drop and give me 20, but all they did was drop. But I think we'll be okay with them. But I thought they were going to do a lot better. Anyway, give me a call at 877-927-6648. I'm going to look at a handful more out here. We talked about Haynes Celestial. Pretty nice lows out here. I would have liked the volume to be just a little less. The big signal on this would be a close over the low of May 8th. That's 25.80. 24.89 was the low today. So you only have about a buck. Put this back into the trading range. And I think this is a fairly nice consolidation. You could get a trade from about 26 bucks up to about 31 bucks if this one turns around. Another one that we talked a great deal about, especially going into Christmas season and other things, is FedEx. You need to close back into 222.44 above that. That's the June 28th low. You do have lighter volume. You only had 2 point. Oh, do we have a caller? I just heard a little echo. 222.44, June 28th. And what do we have here? You got down there with 2.7 million shares, which isn't enough for me to, it's significant, but not enough. You bounced with a higher open and a little lower today. Now, probably the big news on this is the raising of rates on packages from Amazon. And it looks like that's going to make its way through the lame duck part of Congress between late November and 1st of January. Looks like, at least from what I read, it is a good part. And it seemed to me that would probably be a fairly bullish thing for FedEx, because it makes their prices look a little better. But no love for this today. What is a UPS? UPS? Is that the signal? I never can remember. I hope it is. United Untied Postal Service. This one looks more like an ABC on the way up. I don't know what the difference is between these two, but you had a huge candle on the way up on, what is that, July 25th with 6.7 million shares. Is that right? Yeah, 6.7 million shares. Got into it with 5 million shares yesterday, a little higher open today and a little reversal, but very light volume today at 1.55 million shares. So these things don't look quite like they're ready to set up, but they do have a fairly decent history of rolling and going higher into Christmas as soon as everybody starts thinking about shipping those packages. So what else? To Iron Mountain. I always want to call it Iron Maiden, although I wasn't a big fan of them. The band, I mean, not the actual Iron Maidens from Lore, Lore. Iron Mountain actually got into its previous low with higher volume. They call this thing Iron Mountain because they bought a bunch of mines to put and house data, backup data for companies. This thing was a fairly hot property. It does have a high volume low back here at $36.80. I was hoping this thing would come in with a lighter volume. If it holds and consolidates out, this may just be a fairly bigger trading range from the low 31s up into the 36 area. But no big indication on that. Of course, the semis look like they did a fairly decent test of the lows. And Kulik and Safa, there used to be one called Clack. This was Click, and then there was another company called Clack. I think they got bought out. But always loved Click and Clack. These guys make a lot of stuff for what they call bonding wires, BOND, like James Bond, bonding wires. And those are the little wires that go from the chip to the little pins where they get soldered to the board. And a lot of times those there's a lot of black magic to get all that working, and that's what these guys do. And they've got a nice big move out here. Energy wasn't all that exciting on the way back down the last few days, but you did test the previous low of 1.4 million shares with 800, let's call it 900,000 shares, 900,000 yesterday, up with this 231. So maybe a little bit more of consolidation in this one as we take a look. Okay. What else do we have? I want to go to a few more. LG Display, a lot of phones setting up for new releases in the first quarter. And this kind of hit a bottom. Tested 1 million shares with a little under 700,000 shares, the June 28th. A lot of gaps as this one's an ADR. But this one can also tell you a fairly decent amount of what's going forward. These guys sell displays to Samsung and Apple and mostly others. But this looks like it could have come in for a low, and energy did kind of come off in this last leg. Did come down, resistance at about $9, but it might tell us more about Apple than it does about itself. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks. Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Even though a lot of these stocks did come down with higher volume, you were looking for Red Hat that went through this February 9th low at 121.27 with 2 million shares to come in with lighter volume, came in with a little bit more volume. But of course, the one thing to really look at is if this can close above that 121 area. It also has some, you spike through all of these lows from December 5th and January 2nd, and that actually looks like a fairly decent signal. Now, again, if these things came down with a lot of energy, not just in the last couple of days, but really got kind of torn apart, then you're looking for some level of consolidation before these things can start moving higher. You'd like them to kind of bounce around for a little while. Sonos. Yeah. Of course, this IPO we've talked about, I'm not real big on it. I don't know how it's kind of like GoPro. Too many people can do it. And it also, from Microsoft with their Xbox to Alexa and all the other boxes from Apple and Apple TV, this seems to me like if you're not part of their ecosystem, you're probably going to get run over. And at least for an IPO, is it basing out here in this 13 by 12 area? It is. Did it really get creamed over the last couple of days? No. But again, I don't see any real reason to think that that will change. It may have a really nice run into Christmas if they make a lot of noise. But I think in the long term, they've got real problems. Again, we talked about some of the biggest dogs in the market being these hard drive manufacturers. And you got a test halfway in to the gap up that did have volume back on the 8th of January. That came up on 23.5 million shares. You're basically down into it with 3 million shares today. So these are starting to get fairly washed out, and we'll have to keep an eye. But what can you say? Tesla. Put this in the Tech Insider newsletter today. But Monday, they are done with something. Does anybody know? Class. Bueller. They are done with big checks from the government. That $7,500 tax incentive from the feds goes away on Monday. So if you were thinking about buying a Tesla, you got till Monday, and then it's over. Now, the biggest problem is that everybody else that's just starting building a car is going to have those for a certain period of time. And I forget what it is, 150,000 cars or whatever. Anyway, they hit it, and then they had like a 3-month grace period or 6-month. I can't remember what it was now. All I know is it's over on Monday, and suddenly their cars are going to be $7,500 more expensive. So probably when Musk was doing a lot of things to make sure that he got these cars out, it was with huge knowledge that after today or after Monday, it's going to be much harder to sell one of those cars. And a lot of his sales may have been front loaded to get that $7,500 tax credit. What I can tell you is come Tuesday, new orders are probably going to fall off a cliff for a while until the market gets used to it all over again. Twitter. Oh, we got to do the Twitter theme song. Well, you don't want to tweet. April 4th, $26.60, 22 million shares. Got into it with 33 million shares. Went below it. It did pop back into this trading range. But again, did hit it with heavier volume. You need to retest this 26.19 now. There's also a gap. Hang on, let me look at. There is a gap that goes out here, kind of narrow gap. I don't know if it's going to show up in big. Yeah, there it is. This gap goes back to February 8th. It went up on 162 million shares. So in the scheme of things, is 33 million all that bad? No. In the shorter time frame, though, it did hit that April 4th low with higher volume. And my guess is you'd probably want this thing to base out just a little bit. But there may be some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. Energy off that February 4th low up to the June 15th high and back down to this low yesterday was about the same overall, even though you had a big move down. So you can make a case that some of these stocks are in some much larger trading ranges. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648 or email me at path@tfnn.com. Man, you just blink and the S&P moves 3 points. Up 9.5 on the S&P. Dow's up 17. NASDAQ's up 81. Dow seems to be flipping around a bunch. And Russell's off just under 11. Crude's up 41 cents as we go into the weekend. So, what else can you say? Question to look at the QQQs. You did have kind of a nice little one-day reversal today. Volume's a little lighter. You did get back within about $1 of this support range that started on April 18th, came back down, went sideways. So pretty good support at about 168. And again, we bouncing a little bit here today. Again, energy was really strong in the Qs coming off these highs. And it was a little bit of throwing the baby out with the bathwater on a lot of these. And now the question is how to separate the wheat from the chaff. Man, am I going to win the awards this year at the TFNN award ceremonies for mixed metaphors? I think I'm going to win it hands down. Wanted to look at a couple of these other stocks. ESIO, was that the one I was looking at yesterday? Electroscientific Industries. Actually not a bad looking chart here at 15 bucks. Big trading ranges from 23.90 down to the low 15s. Came back down and tested the previous July 5th low with 880,000 shares with 566,000 shares. It's kind of gone sideways since then. The real proof of the pudding would be a close above this May 9th low at 1658. So about $1.50, $1.30 higher. Gets you back into that bigger range up to 23.90. You did have one day that's resistance. It's going to be around that September 6th down day, 1.3 million shares. So it wouldn't be that big a deal to get through that. Big trading rate, big. We'll be back in a minute.
Jason Path has just launched his weekly newsletter, The Quantitative Edge, available only at TFNN.com. Right now, you can sign up for Jason's outstanding weekly report, including midweek updates whenever warranted, with a 30-day money-back guarantee included, so you have nothing to risk. Jason develops his trade recommendations by creating an ensemble of predictive and mathematical models trained on data by leveraging a variety of techniques, including market-based computer simulations. Jason then combines these sophisticated predictive and analytical models with deeply researched macro outlooks to identify opportunities in a number of different markets for traders to act on. Whether you're looking to trade futures, equities, commodities like crude oil and gold, forex, or cryptos, Jason covers it all. Sign up for Jason Path's weekly trading newsletter right now by visiting the front page of TFNN.com, and you'll find the Quantitative Edge under the Newsletters tab. TFNN.com, educating investors. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
I'll be in the bottom half of the Tom O'Brien Show. In the next hour, we'll be talking technology with them. A lot of interesting stuff going on. And of course, especially in a week like this when the market's really moving, guess what? A lot of that noise gets, news gets, it's valuable. It's pushed way out into the back pages, and you don't get to hear it. Always one of those things where people kind of wake up to the fact that a lot of stuff they missed when it's all about fast markets. What else do we have going on out here? I wanted to look at a few others. HIMX, this is a semi-conductor company. We talked about this one testing its previous low with half the volume. It's back into the trading range 2 on a little doji today, so Monday is going to be more important. $5.86, that's the March 29th low. Got into it yesterday with 2 million shares. What is that, 25 cents lower than that. Right now, you are above that March 29th low, so you're back into the trading range. I'm not short a stock like this, or I wouldn't be short a stock like this, but it is basically saying that at least for the very short term, this thing probably is bottomed around this high $5 mark. You know, if semis do turn around, as we looked at the charts earlier, even if it's just a nice B to C, a pretty decent sized B2C out there. So if you want to stay bearish, maybe it's the idea to start looking at these things and waiting for the next bounce to short them. And if you're bullish, it's time to start looking at them. That's about it. We're going to be back Monday, of course. Same bat channel, same bat time. And as always, the biggest thing is to sell when you can, not when you have to. See you at 3:30.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.